this process and her going out traveling and going on retreats, she found somebody. And I came across their messages and I didn't know what to make of it. I couldn't comprehend it, I couldn't understand it. But she told me that they were friends that met through their spiritual journey on one of these retreats. Just friends. Here are the messages that I came across that I didn't know what to think of it. And that's why I took her word and believed her, because I had no idea what the fuck this meant. What does that mean? What type of language is that? But as time was going on, it started to show that this is somebody that she was connecting with. And unfortunately, when you guys found out, I found out way, way before then. We get a divorce and we go our separate ways. Her new partner moves in with her, and the spiritual journey gets worse. I know you guys know before, when she was doing ayahuasca, when I was living away from me, away from the kids, and outside of the house, where she would go to a professional. I'm sure you heard of Linnell. She's taken pictures with her, she's praised her. And Linnell was once a family member of ours. And Linnell has been here that she is also educating my kids on what ayahuasca is. And that she is telling me that soon they will be able to experience ayahuasca if they want. And the reason why that is so scary is because here is a photo of all of them in Catherine's house experiencing the ayahuasca journey they had together. And this boy right here is only 12 years old doing ayahuasca. Mind you, no one here is a professional. No one here has studied ayahuasca for years and years. I don't know if you guys know how dangerous that is, but all it takes is for one bad experience and it changes all of our lives. Not just Catherine, not just mine, but my kids, and I'll never fuck with, ever. And so I took it in my own hands to have my kids more, try to spend more time with them. And I'm sure you guys seen that. You guys seen that, how hands-on I am and how much they're with me. And I also believe that everything happens for a reason. I was never, ever going to address this. I was never, ever going to talk about this. And I most definitely was always going to protect her in her spiritual journey, regardless if I felt my kids were unsafe. All that being said, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe all of this whole situation happened for a reason, because I was never going to address it. Regardless of me knowing that my kids were in an unsafe environment, I was always going to protect her. So then,
baby, you want to say something?
I give her the mic and I step away for a second, catch my breath and wipe the sweat off my face.
We have the strongest family in the world. The strongest. Oh my God,
And I'm-
for coming out.
And I'm still right there next to her. It's very unfortunate and sad, because now she turned one of our biggest moments as a family and as a brand into a mockery. When that was so special to both of us, and it happened because of both of us. Catherine knew what I was dealing with for a very long time. I would come to her and I would voice how I feel about how I felt like I was getting no affection from her. There was a year period where we had no sex, and I would vent to her telling her what I needed. And Her exact words verbatim on my kids. She said, just don't make me look dumb. Don't embarrass me. I don't know what that means to you guys, but to me it sounds like, go do whatever you need to do because I'm not capable of giving you what you need. So Catherine tells you guys that back in 2018, 2019, I basically ruined her life because I stepped out of our marriage and she had no idea, when that is not true at all. She knew exactly what I was doing and when I was doing it. So much to where she stayed with me another 5-6 years after that. When she first came to me and told me that she wanted to do ayahuasca, in my head, I was 100% against it. Something that I do not believe in. I believe in God. But because I'm such a supporting husband, I wanted to support her as much as I could. And so I let her seek that journey, and that's what she did. Through her ayahuasca journey, she was telling me how one moment she felt like she's a psychic. The next moment she felt like she was a healer. The next moment she turned me into a mermaid. I was being as supportive as I could. She even went as far as telling me that she was the reincarnated Virgin Mary. And that she no longer wanted to have sex with me and she didn't want to use her body in that way. You guys put yourself in my shoes, and if your significant other told you that they were the Virgin Mary and no longer wanted to have sex with you, what would you do? So as she was getting more connected to the spiritual side, we started growing further apart. And it was really sad because our conversations were only about spirituality and I couldn't relate. And it got so bad to the point where she was doing it once a month. She became addicted. Usually people do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times in their entire life, but she was doing it once a month. And this is where, during this process and her going out, traveling and going on retreats, she found somebody. Here are the messages that I came across that I didn't know what to think of it. And that's why I took her word and believed her, because I had no idea what the fuck this meant. What type of language is that? And decided to do the ayahuasca ceremonies and her hosting them at her house, in her home, where my kids lay their head. Really only had 2 options. Either I get full custody of the kids, or I spend more time with them to protect them. And I think you guys know what option I chose. Here is a photo of all of them in Catherine's house experiencing the ayahuasca journey that they had together. And this boy right here is only 12 years old doing ayahuasca. Mind you, no one here is a professional. No one here has studied ayahuasca for years and years. I don't know if you guys know how dangerous that is, but all it takes is for one bad experience.
Austin already won in life. Like, he has healthy parents, they're still alive, they're still here. He has kids that love him, that have unconditional love for him. He has a wife that adores him, that supports him through all seasons. He has good friends, he has a roof over his head, he has food, he has water that he needs. But yet this thing is like his own personal, thing for like his, like, I don't even know, like, it's his own curiosity for his development. Like, it's something that he has to go through. That's what marriage is about. It's about being there for each other and supporting yourselves unconditionally and having compassion and learning through each other.
I feel like our biggest similarity is that we both are very, very, very spiritually connected. Like, we both...
We try.
Yeah, we try. We forget sometimes.
Because we are humans.
Yeah. Human is hard. But then when we remember, it's nice. Being awake in the dream kind of thing.
For many reasons, I think the biggest reason is to protect the most important people in my life, which is the mother of my kids and my kids. But I have been left with no choice. I'm feeling all type of emotions right now. I'm sad. I'm mad. I feel that I've been blindsided. Blindsided because, as you guys know, and what you guys have seen for the past year and a half, Catherine and I have the best co-parenting situation that any parent can ever ask for. We actually have a better relationship now than we did when we were married. I look at Catherine as a best friend, someone that I talk to every day, not just about our kids, but about life. She called me last week about her boyfriend, how he had a homeless guy sleeping in his car. I was just over her house bringing the kids pizza, not just the kids, but her and her boyfriend pizza. We were all sitting in her living room eating the pizza, laughing and smiling. And then the next morning is when the snippet of her book comes out, and it talks about how I'm a terrible person and how I was a terrible husband. Not once did she ever come to me and talk to me about this book. Yes, I was aware she was writing this book for the past however long, and I actually congratulated her when I first found out she was writing a book, because obviously I had no idea what the book was about. I just was very proud of her that she was doing something new and something for herself. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Catherine recently just released a snippet of her book that she wrote alongside a professional author that helped her write this book. And the book was manipulated, and she did not tell the full truth, which is why I'm here today to tell you guys the full truth and to tell you guys what really happened. I don't know about you guys, but I find it very odd that the first chapter of her book is about me and not about her. It's about me and how I was a terrible person and terrible husband, when this book is supposed to be an autobiography about her life. It could have been about anything else. She talks about her family in the book. She talks about ayahuasca. She talks about her new guy. But she wanted to use me,
long day,
in this snippet to reel everybody in for clickbait and to monetize from the book. Usually when someone writes an autobiography about their life, it starts with, hey, my name is. Not Dolores. That's definitely not how she started it. And that's why I feel like it was a setup. Reason why I say a setup is because when we went through our separation and we decided to announce it to the world, her and I were trying to figure out what was the best way of doing it. I felt the best way of doing it was coming out with a YouTube video together, her and I side by side. And I even told her that, hey, I'll do all the talking, I'll take full accountability for my actions and all the mistakes that I've made. I said, you don't have to say anything if you don't want. Even though you've made mistakes and I've made mistakes, I'll go ahead and take all the blame. She didn't want to do that. So it left me with no choice but to make my own video. I decided to make my own YouTube video, and in that video, I basically exposed myself. And it's crazy because I still have that video today, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Here's the video. The video is over 30 minutes long, so obviously I'm not going to share the whole video, but I'm just going to share a short snippet to show you guys that I did make this video. It caused me to seek it elsewhere. It caused me to make bad decisions. I admit I failed as a husband. So, as you guys can see, it was 30 minutes of the video of me just exposing myself. And I obviously shared that video with her to get her approval before posting it. And long story short, she didn't want me to post it. And this is what she had to say about it. Also want you guys to know that I'm gonna have receipts throughout this entire video. And the reason why I have some of these receipts is because I knew that one day it was a possibility of something like this happening. And you guys have seen it time and time again, where couples break up and there's always some sort of exposing. And so I just wanted to be able to have my own truth just in case something like this happened. And this is why I have certain recordings. So as you can see the date on here, I filmed that video on June 12th, which was a week before we announced our separation on Instagram. Here is a recording which was on January 13th, which was the day after I filmed this video. And this was her response on why she felt.
So I'm saying, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, but do I have to worry about like you like saying something like after and stuff?
So I'm basically asking her, like, what is okay for me to say? She showed me her statement that she had, and I was like, okay, well, I had no say in that. You're doing what you want to do. Am I allowed to do what I want to do?
No, you just say
I'm just
you weren't happy.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Like, say what you said in your video. I just think your video would have been, you would have had a lot of backlash. I think this way is much more organic.
So as you heard what she said that if I was going to release this video, I would get a lot of backlash, as if she cared about me getting backlash. What is happening now? You would expect her to be okay with back then. When we were separating at that time, to be okay with me getting backlash or her saying what she needed to say back then. But a year and a half later, you didn't want me to put this video out because you didn't want me to get backlash. Then what's happening now?